Hey there, folks. Welcome into the News 12 Now desk. Thanks for joining us here on this Thursday, March 30th. It's a beautiful day outside. We'll give you a quick look to the. Yeah, that'll work. Quick look out here, Grovetown, or not Grovetown. This is I-20. Kind of looking towards the state line. This is outside our station. Beautiful skies out there this morning, and just an overall nice day. It started out a little bit chilly, but it has warmed up a bit. Let me give a quick peek at the temperature here. We're looking at about 55, 56 degrees right now, so expected to continue to warm up as the day goes on. That's what the meteorologists tell me, and that's what my First Alert weather app told me. So be sure to go ahead and give that a download. That way you know exactly what's going on weather-wise outside. But let's jump in here a little bit. We've got a couple things to talk about right now. We are going to start with the 13-year-old boy who was shot and killed at an apartment complex here in Augusta. We're going to run some sound on that, and then we will actually be heading out live to the Augusta National Women's Amateur at Champions Retreat, and we will have our sports team out there. Dan Booth, Alyssa Lyons, going to be joining us here at about 11 o'clock. But first, I did want to talk about, as I mentioned, that 13-year-old boy, Buddy Brown Jr., who was shot and killed outside of his apartment complex early Tuesday morning. This all is still hard for the family trying to fathom all this right now. Our Will Rio went out there and talked to them about what happened. So I'll play Will's story from yesterday, and then we will go ahead and run the full interview with that family. It's about 20 minutes long. Once we come back from that, then we will go ahead and kind of get into our Augusta National Women's Amateur coverage. But first, the story from Will, and then the sound from the family.
Well, as you can imagine, this is still all very fresh for the family. They say there's still so many questions here about why someone would take the life of their 13-year-old boy. One of the things they say they'll miss the most is his smile, which could light up any room. Right off of Broad Street, it's quiet in the alley. It's business as usual, except a memorial staring at every person going in and out of the Richmond Summit apartments.
It don't make sense. See, it's all.
The shooting happening no more than 100 yards from a Richmond County Sheriff's Office building.
He never walked the streets, never hung out. He ain't like doing all that. He just wanted to be around his family.
The 13-year-old cherished his family.
He always tell me that all the time, Daddy, I love you.
His games, books, and most of all, his food.
He loved to go downstairs, order stuff, get snacks. People know him when he go downstairs.
The family tells me at around 12:30 to 1 a.m., Buddy ordered DoorDash from McDonald's.
Because he told me, he said, Dad, I'll be right back. I'm going to get my order.
Buddy's father fell asleep before he came back. He woke up and Buddy wasn't there. He tried to call Buddy, but instead got a call.
He told me, he said, my son died here laying down dead. And I threw my phone down and ran down there. When I looked down there, my son was laying on the ground, and I went out.
Brown says the apartment doors lock, meaning Buddy had to have met at the door of the lobby to accept the food. They think someone pulled him outside and the doors locked. His parents say his back was turned to the shooter.
You might come run and hide and dodge all you want, but that country gonna eat you up no matter where you at, nowhere where you at. Because every time you look around, you gonna see my son in your face, and you're going to think about it.
The family says they're left thinking about the security cameras that could have identified the shooter, only if they say they were working.
No, my son going to get his justice. No matter what, he going to get his justice, and that way he can rest in peace. And I'm going to make sure that happens.
And the family says they're in the process of figuring out funeral arrangements. This Friday, they plan to have a vigil and a balloon release in Buddy's memory this Friday at 6 o'clock in front of the Richmond Summit Apartments where he was killed. I think an important part about all of this is that this is just another example of gun violence in our community. And the most important thing here is that a 13-year-old child lost his life.
Yeah, it really is just heartbreaking to hear that story and to think about what that family's going through right now. And as you heard Will say right there at the end, there will be a balloon release and vigil today at 6 o'clock outside of the Richmond Summit Apartments where he was killed. There is a little bit of a memorial out there. Actually, let me pull up. There it is, dedicated to this young man who, when you see the smile, there's the smile, just infectious. And it's a bright light to a dark time that a family's going through right now. And of course, we are wishing them the best. Sending our thoughts and prayers out there with them. Can't imagine the pain that they're feeling right now and what that loss is like for them. But as I said before, we will go ahead and play the full interview with the family now. It's about 20 minutes. Then once we come back from that, we will transition into our women's amateur coverage. We will have our sports team live out there at Champions Retreat. But for right now, I'll go ahead and play that full interview for you.
Each of you start by telling me your first and last name, spelling both, and then your relationship to Buddy.
My name is Mary Brown. It's MaryBrown. I'm his mother.
My name is Buddy Brown Jr. Senior. And
What's your name?
my name is WRDW. B-U-D-Y.
Okay.
My name is Derek Smith. I'm his cousin. DERRICK-SMICH.
And I just want to start by saying that we send our condolences to you guys with everything that's going on. I know a lot's going on with your family, so we appreciate you guys sitting down and talking with us. I just wanted to start by anyone who doesn't know who Buddy was as a person, you just describe who he is.
He was a loving, kind kid. He loved being on his game. He loved his family. He especially loved his mom and dad. And he was very outgoing. He never walked the streets, never hung out. He didn't like doing all that. He just wanted to be around his family. That's it.
Just loved his
And
family.
he loved to eat. My baby loved to eat. And that's what he was trying to do. What he was trying to do, order his food and eat. Because he loved to eat.
So, did you live over there at Richmond Summit Apartments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you guys lived over there, and he was living with you at the
Yes,
time?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Me and my husband.
How long have you guys lived over there?
I regret that we was saying never know. But not even here yet.
Okay. And I know this may be difficult to talk about, but I know a lot of people on social media are complaining about him being up at 3 a.m. and stuff like that. What would you like to say to some of those people that are talking?
First of all, he was just an innocent guy, boy, going downstairs, get something to eat, get his food, he ordered his food. And that's what he loved to do, he loved to eat. He never, ever hung in the streets, ever.
But the thing about it, that my son, let me tell you something about my son. I read my son. And he loved to go downstairs, order stuff, get snacks. People know him when he go downstairs. People see him coming back up. And they know how I am about my son. So my son is not a bad person. Don't talk with nobody. Don't get, ask questions to nobody, cause he don't know you. So that's how my son is. That's the way I raised him. So by him going down the store to get his order and stuff like that, they don't give nobody no reason if he pick up his order. That's the way he turned his back and shot my son. I don't like that. Because my son ain't nobody, he don't go out the door. He just go to the door and get his stuff and turn around and come back. Why you wait until he turn it back and do what you got to do? Now, this is what I want to say. This is from my heart, and I'm his father. You might could run and hide and dodge all you want, but that country gonna eat you up no matter where you at. Nowhere where you at. Because every time you look around, you gonna see my son in your face, and you gonna think about it. Every time you think about it, keep sit down, you can't think. You're gonna turn in. You might hide now, but you're gonna turn in. And once you turn in, God gonna be right there waiting for you.
And for any information, I'm offering a reward.
How much you guys offer?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Yes.
You guys know what happened?
We don't know.
Well,
No.
Excuse me. I ain't nothing really happened, but I know what happened when my son went downstairs to pick up his order. I was in my room taking a nap, and then when I woke up, because he told me, he said, Dad, I'll be right back. I'm going to get my order. And there was no 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning getting no order. It was just around about 12:30, 1 o'clock when he went down to order his stuff for Mike Donald. Okay? So when he went down there to pick it up, I didn't see him. I called him. He never answered in the room. So I got up, put on my shoes to go down the stairs to see where he at. And by the time I got ready to go, the phone rang. One of the persons up there called me and told me, said, my son died, he laying down dead. And I threw my phone down and ran down there. When I looked down there, my son was laying on the ground, and I went out. I went out on the floor. I didn't care about nothing. I went out there to see my child, but they wouldn't let me get close to him. But that's what hurt.
So around midnight to 1 o'clock or 12:30 to 1, he ordered from McDonald's.
Right, he
went
ordered
down-
over the phone.
And went down there to go get it at around that time.
Right, around that time.
And then they found him at.
They found him about 2 hours, 3 hours later, laying there
We
dead.
just want to know who the driver was to come deliver that food. We just want to know.
So you guys think it was the delivery driver who did
I
this?
know, well, to my idea, if it ain't but 2 people was out there, my son and him, who could be, because nobody be out there that time of night, because everybody be in their room. But we don't know that, because one thing I could sure for say, there's a lot of people sleep out there. You got homeless live out there around that building, and they know, them homeless know who did it, but they ain't talking. Nobody talking. But sooner or later, somebody gonna talk.
Do any of you guys know if those security cameras are working out front?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. It was none to me.
It was what? Sorry.
It was none.
They weren't
It's
working.
not none of them. Because the one in the elevator is cut off, the wire cut off.
But
So-
any of the ones outside of the building?
The outside of the building is not working, because I talked to the lady down there at the office. She said the motor was not running
Okay.
at that time. And that really hurt me.
And what were some of? I know you said he liked to eat, and I heard that he likes his PS5, likes to play games and stuff like that. What are some of his other hobbies that he enjoyed doing?
He like reading books, basically talking to me on the phone a lot. And me and my other cousins, he didn't really like get into fights like that. I mean, he was very chill. And basically mostly talking about anime and stuff like that, and like creating TikToks. And that's
It's hard to think that something like this could happen to
Yes,
a
no.
13-year-old child.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we've talked about this a lot. Me as a reporter, being in this community, we see gun violence. We
Yes,
see it
we
happen.
do.
Is this something that you ever thought would touch you guys?
No, no.
Not
No.
with Buddy, no sir, not with Buddy. That
No.
was a
He was a
good
boy.
child.
He was.
It's a good son. I raised him. I raised my son to be good and manner to people
Respectful.
and do a lot of things for people that will do for you. But don't take things at granted when you see other people do. Because, I want him to be to respect the child. And I do.
And when I used to stay together, he always wanted to know what I was gonna cook. He'd be ready. Okay, come on with my food. Come on, get the cake. I'm ready for it. He never did go nowhere.
Nope.
Everybody know them.
Yep. He
Was
ain't
he,
nowhere.
was he an only child?
He's my only child.
Only child.
He's the only child.
So, talking about gun violence, I know you guys want answers. I know you guys want to find the person who
Yes,
did this to your son.
Yes.
Just what is your message to the community about gun violence?
Well, to me, they need. Well, it's harder to take guns for people that keep giving out guns. You got parents got guns in the house, and the children they always, they wait till you live and get it, and then you go out on the street and set it on the street. So ain't no.
I just hope they take all the guns off the street.
I mean,
I know all of them not going to, I know.
they're not gonna happen because, and put it this way, if we don't.
I realize they need guns for protection, because you
Protection,
do
yeah,
need
boy.
guns for
That's true.
protection. But sometimes it could get into the wrong hand.
And then another thing, they need gun protection, but one thing about it, they need to stop going around and killing each other instead of helping each other and try to pull together. All people need to pull together, all the family, not just us, all the family, pull together and stop all this violence and stuff and raising your kids up with violence and stuff and got people out there selling drugs to give it to them. You need to stop all that because it don't make sense. See, it don't. Because you look at my child, look at everybody else children. Look at the school, get killed. Children get killed every day. So how you gonna stop the survivor if y'all don't put down your foot and do it yourself? You got to show them when y'all mean business. You got to show them. Because you know you don't put your foot down, they're going to keep on going. And that's why they're going to take over the whole community. I'm serious.
No, I know you've been very outspoken about this throughout the interview. I know that I couldn't imagine the emotions that are going through your head, but are you angry right now at what's going on? Or
Yes, I am.
What are you feeling?
I feel that it took something out of my heart. This is my child. It's really hurt because you know that's the one that I be with and love, smile, play with, talk with, walk to school with him, get on the bus with him. Every day, my child. I be right there with him 24/7. So this happened to me and I can't walk to him, I can't say that to him. It's hurt deep down inside. Because that's my first child. My first. To take away from my heart. I just hope when y'all do find it, whoever find it, I'm gonna get my justice. My son gonna get his justice. No matter what, he gonna get his justice. And that way he can rest in peace. And I'm gonna make sure that happens. I'm gonna make sure when he get what he served to my child. I ain't got nothing to say.
He ain't had to think about the life. He didn't. But it was, if he wanted better food, good his buddy loved to eat, he would have gave him his food. That's the kind of boy he was. He was no violent boy. Everybody know about him.
What's one of your favorite things about him? I heard his smile could light up a room.
And him teasing you all the time. He loved to die to tease with you.
And he tickled him and everything. Play with me, he was playing. And I just miss him so much.
He just fun.
Yeah, that
He was.
a lot of fun.
He real fun.
He was cool. He
Every
was
day
cool.
he told us he loved us. Every day.
Sure enough, did.
He always tell me,
Every
say,
day.
Dad, I love
Every
you.
minute.
He always tell me that all the time. Dad, I love you. Give me a
He
hug.
just
Give
tell
me
me,
a
I
hug.
love you, Grandma. I love you, Auntie Clayton.
He loved all his family. He loved all of us.
I'm gonna be gone.
And his last words to me, was he gonna kick my butt in Call of Duty. That was the last thing I heard from him.
Just on that game.
Hey, Dad, when the dad take the game, I said, better please give him his game back. I said, he'll do his work. He said, Dad, I promise you I'll do it. You better give him his game back. He do what he got to do.
Yeah.
What do you think can come out of your son passing away? Do you guys plan to do anything in the future to raise awareness for stuff like this? Or
Yes, we
Yes. Yes. Yep, indefinitely.
because I know I've talked with the sheriff's office countless times, and they say it's up to the community to do a big lifting part of trying to solve some crime and
Right.
trying to reduce gun violence in the community. I was just wondering if you guys had any plans or anything like that in the future.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Do you have any questions or anything? I think that's pretty much all the questions I had, unless you guys wanted to add anything else that you guys think I missed. Or...
I just want to offer an award. That's what I want to do.
I just hope and pray they catch whoever did it.
Yeah.
And what about the GoFundMe?
Yeah. We do have a GoFundMe page that we got going on for him. If you look up, it's up on the right now.
Mm-hmm. It's the one on Facebook that
Yeah.
was linked. I just want to make sure I get the right one, because I know sometimes people post some fake ones and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure.
The money kind of coming in
Everything
fast.
coming in
That's
there.
good. Do you guys have a funeral or anything planned yet, or are you guys working on
We're
that
going tomorrow.
to tomorrow, just to like kind of work on details and stuff? Okay. All right.
We also gonna be having a visual for him Friday.
Friday. Do you know what time
I want to say 6 o'clock. We're gonna release the balloons at 6 o'clock.
we're at?
Where he stayed.
Where he stayed.
Okay. Do you guys mind if we send someone out there
Yeah.
with y'all and get
We don't mind.
Okay. That works. You guys know if school's doing anything?
Yeah, they came before you guys came and talked to us, so they'll be here also too.
Okay.
Question from me. So you said that the order was done between 12 and 12:30, and that's when they were down. So we'll probably end up correcting that. 'Cause I think we're
Yeah,
telling.
because we were told that it was just 3:30-ish. So, but I know that's when he may have been found too, as you said.
Yeah, because to mine, I know what time I tried up at the house. So he never did come, because like I said, I woke up at least about an hour. At least I woke up about an hour. And when I woke up about an hour, it was about 1 o'clock, and I looked at my time, and I said, now, Buddy, where you at? I called him in the room, and he never answered.
They have his phone though. They can see it away. When they crack into the phone.
They'll see what time he called and what time he ordered.
So, you also mentioned that he turned around and got shot in the back. Do you guys know that that's?
I don't know. All I know is what the office told me.
Was he walking? They said that he was walking back in towards the building, or
Well, the door is right there.
yeah.
He can't go out again, because once he go out, the door will lock on him.
Okay.
So it's 2 doors. You go through that first door, and then go to the next door. That's the door that locked to come in.
Yeah.
So he pushed the button and reached his hand right in and get the lock to get the order. See,
So was he outside the building or was he inside?
I think they drove him out.
he was inside the building. Just like you open that door there, you inside. You reaching out to get the order.
Okay.
So they must have snatched him out, because the door locked behind him. Can't get in. So you have to drag him outside the building when you see where he at, and shot him.
So he was found outside.
Yeah.
Right outside by
So
the
he
door.
opens up the door. They grab him.
Grab him
Door
outside.
locks. He can't get back
Can't
in.
get
and
back
then,
in.
And they shot him.
Shot back in.
It looked like he was shot up against the wall, because
Yeah.
the wall had blood on the brick
Yeah,
wall
yeah.
outside.
So you guys don't know anyone that you guys know that would have done this to him, or any?
No,
I know
I
he's
don't.
only 13, so
Right.
I
He
don't.
wasn't in no kind of gang,
Right.
man.
No.
He ain't socialized with people, so.
No.
I don't
He's not a
know.
violent person. He's not a
Yeah,
violent
no.
so
child.
no gang affiliation.
No.
He's a nerd.
I'm telling you, without my benefit, my son is not no game enough, because I don't go that way. I don't raise my child that way. You know, I read him to walk away to get himself in the spot. You see children and stuff like that, walking away.
Teacher was talking about me today, how good he was. She said, I'm gonna miss him from coming down the hall talking to me.
So is it possible then this wasn't even him being targeted?
That's what I said the same thing, because like a few months back, they thought my son was the big fat guy that stayed at the same complex. And I said, no, that's my little that's my baby. He's about 13. So I don't know. I'm trying to put this together. I don't know.
Well, I'm saying this. My son went down and did what he had to do. And by them pushing him out the door and did what they have to do to my son, that's the only way they did that. Because when you go down there, check it out yourself, go inside the door, you can't get in.
Yeah.
Just do it like you can't get in. Only way you get in, you got to have a key. And I got the key in my back pocket.
I don't understand why those cameras weren't working.
Well, maybe the cameras don't work, because one thing is, they never had to work for the jump screen. See, that's why too much stuff going on, And you go up on the elevator, got a camera in there on both of them. You see 2 wires sticking up. They cut off. They cut it.
But they shut
So
the
that-
thing right there.
Hey, I don't know now. So that I feel deep inside. I'm mad with them because they didn't have the camera rolling.
Yeah.
That's what I'm mad. And they know I'm mad. Because if they had the camera rolling, they would have caught my son right then and there. Right, they would find out who did it right then and there. When the detective came over, they wanted to check the camera. They would have caught all of them. But I went downstairs myself and asked the lady that ran the business, was the camera running? She said no, because it was not rolling. It was not on. So that's what hurt me right there.
I think that's all the questions I had. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to add?
I don't have it. I'm done.
Okay.
I just want justice, that's all.
That's all. That's all we ask for.
So there you have it, our interview with the family of Buddy Brown Jr., Will Rio, doing that one there for us. Just hard to hear what they're going through. Can't even really imagine what that's like for that family right now. But okay, let's change gears a bit here. We are on day 2 of the Augusta National Women's Amateur out at Champions Retreat. A little bit of a delayed start this morning. We had a fog delay, actually, but we are good now. We've got Dan Booth and Alyssa Lyons out there right now for us. Guys, how is it going out there?
Things are rolling along, and as you mentioned, the fog. Listen, I'm not sure about you, but when I was pulling into the parking lot, if it wasn't for the Anwa parking sign right there, I wouldn't have be able to see across the street to get to the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was just terrible driving through here this morning, so I couldn't imagine what the visibility would have looked like if they decided to play in it. It feels like it's always something here at the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Last year we had a rainout day, which pushed everything back to Friday and then kind of delayed that practice round. It's been fog, it's been rain, it's been wind this week.
You know, and the next obstacle is obviously trying to make the cut to be able to get to Augusta National. The practice round will be tomorrow, and then the final round will be on Saturday. But so far, Rose Zhang is still killing it. She came into the day at 6 under, and then a few minutes ago, actually, she birdied the first hole to move to 7 under, which a lot of people have had troubles with ones so far to start the tournament.
Yeah, that one's always a really hard one. They said yesterday it just kept hooking to the left, hooking to the right. It was not really finding its own little destination that they wanted it to. So everybody was having a lot of trouble on the front 9. But on the back 9, they started to get rolling, and that's when we saw those numbers start to drop a little. But a lot of people really just, fighting to get to that back 9 because the front 9 has done them a little bit a harsher way of, playing today because, we see a lot more people tied for 29th, tied for 43rd. The leaderboard looks a little shaky right now.
No doubt. A lot of fluctuation on that front, Nick, and I know that's something you've been paying close attention to as well.
Oh, yeah. We've seen a lot of movement here on the leaderboard. And as we're talking, we just had some Antonia Malate eagle the 3rd hole. So she has now moved up into solo 3rd place, just jumped Jenny Bay for 3rd. And as you guys mentioned, just a lot of people tied there and tied for the 20s and the 30s. As it stands right now, we've got 37 players at +3 or better, and that's looking like the cut line right now, but obviously still a lot of golf left to play. We had a real interesting situation yesterday with defending champion Anna Davis. Take us through what happened there, because she was 1 over on the first hole, and then all of a sudden that jumped up real quick. So what happened there?
So after the first round, we ended up finding out that Anna Davis was taken with 2 separate 2-stroke penalties, which ended up resulting in her dropping her score by 4, as you mentioned, for what Augusta National is saying they did not put the ball right back in the spot where it needed to be, and multiple times on the first hole of her first hole of the day.
Yeah, it was all due to those conditions yesterday that we mentioned, Nick, because it was so wet, it was so windy, and it really just penalized her and pushed her back for. She was not playing to that, usual no pressure Anna Davis, very cut and dry. This is who I am. This is how I play. We didn't really see that out of her yesterday, and you could tell she was a little bit just. She wasn't her usual self. It definitely got her down when she found out about those penalties. This morning, though, I think we're going to see a new page come from her. She was out signing autographs. She looked more like the usual confident Anna Davis that we usually see. But you know what? She said something to me 2 weeks ago, and it really stuck with me. She goes, at the end of the day, it's just golf. And you see her. She's already flipping that page. So I think we're going to see some good things from her. She does have to, break a little weight today to make it under the cut. So she can go ahead and make a return back to Augusta National. So we're going to hopefully see her back again because she is the returning champ. We want to see her play on Saturday.
No doubt. And to your point, it's not always easy to be able to snap back and do what you have to do in situations like that, especially at big events like this. And she ended up bogeying that 4th hole right after she found out. So we're hoping that Anna Davis can kind of get things rolling here on the second day, but she definitely has an uphill climb from this point.
Yeah, Anna Davis finding out about that penalty when she was on the fourth hole, like you mentioned. She did double four and then bogeyed five, so had a couple rough holes after that. But then the rest of the round went 4 birdies, no bogeys, so a clean scorecard for her after that. And then today she is actually 1 under through 4, so she is sitting above the cut line right now. If the tournament ended right now, she would be in the top 30 heading to Augusta National on Saturday. But of course, still a lot to be determined there. But no matter what happens with her, you can't take away the success she's had in this area over the last year plus. She had the great finish at Sage Valley last year, obviously won this tournament a year ago, and then went on to win wire to wire at Sage Valley in convincing fashion just a couple weeks ago. So regardless what happens here this week, she is a champion in this area. A very important question: what was the headwear? Because I think that might have had something to do with it yesterday, the struggles early on. What is she wearing today?
I blame the sun visor. I really think, you mess with the mojo, too much, and you see some things happen. So I want to see a bucket hat. I didn't see her wear any headwear this morning, but I don't know, you just saw her. Did you see her wear anything?
I haven't. She teed off on 10 a little while ago, and I was on the other side at that point in time. So I'm not sure, but that is something that we will definitely be keeping you posted on, Nick, for sure.
I mean, it is pretty sunny, and she always said that she would break out the bucket hat if it's a little sunny at Sage Valley, so maybe she's got it buried in her bag. That's what I'm going with, because I want to see it. I want to see the bucket hat, Nick.
Of course, we all do, and that was kind of the trademark last year, and we saw the hats sell out so quickly in the pro shop, largely because of Anna Davis and the success that she had last year. Let's talk about some of our regional folks here. We've got 2 sitting in the top 5 right now. Jenny Bay, who grew up in Swanee and is now a member of the Georgia Bulldogs golf team, and then Jensen Castle, who is a West Columbia native playing at the University of Kentucky right now. Have you been able to see those 2 out on the course? I know Bay hasn't teed off yet today, but Jensen's out there on hole 5 right now. Have you guys seen them today or yesterday?
Yes, actually. So I saw Jensen Castle on hole 1 right behind us, and she had a nice approach shot and really was able to get it onto the green from a decent distance away, which is pretty impressive. And she's rolling after the first one. Now, she did bogey that first hole. However, she's been able to climb back to 2 under at the moment, and we're going to see how she continues to play throughout the day, because as we know, we love keeping tabs on our local people.
Yeah, Jensen Castle, I saw her on the driving range earlier. She was just talking to family and friends, just being her usual self. I did ask if one of her golf pros was here, and that is Ted Scott, which is Scotty Scheffler's caddy. And I said, I saw that he was out on the course yesterday, but is he caddying today? He said no, he's not going to caddy until Augusta National, but I know he has offered her advice as well. So, I think this time around, she always says that she always plays confident here at Champions Retreat. Last year, Nick, like you mentioned, a while back, she got in a rep here back in December, and then ahead of her playing here at Champions Retreat, and she knows this course. She has a feel for this course. She's also played at Sage Valley, which I was talking to a couple owners here today, that they actually just replaced the grass at Sage Valley to mimic more of a Champions Retreat feel. So anybody who has played that Sage Valley course is pretty used to this Champions Retreat course. And I think that really builds on her success here, and that's why she's so successful.
Yeah, and she's having another great tournament here. Finished, I think, tied for 12th last year, maybe. And let me actually double check that. Yeah, tied for 12th last year, and then off to a great start here this year. But we will be remiss if we didn't talk about our leader, Rose Zhang, world #1 right now for the women's amateur rankings. She has been here 3 times before. She's done very well here. Her past appearances, she's made the cut all 3 times, finished tied for 3rd in 2021, that great tournament that went into a playoff. How is she doing right now? And I know you guys have heard from her in the press conferences after the round. How's she doing?
Yeah, so I caught up with her on 1 a little while ago, actually, and she birdied the first hole, like we mentioned a little bit off the top, and there were roars by the green when it happened, because everyone was, once again, that is a hole that's been giving people problems early on, and needless to say, she is on a roll right now. She's currently sitting at 7 under, and she is still on top of the leaderboard, and if she continues this momentum, it's going to be difficult for anybody to catch her on top.
Yeah, I don't think we have seen somebody who's already 6 under. It's not very common here this early in the tournament here at Champions Retreat. So to even have that lead, I mean, that's pretty impeccable. It's not, you know, a normal occurrence. So if she does keep that lead and keep rolling in, she's going to be dangerous on Saturday.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, not common to see 6 under in one round. Just for some context, there's been very few 6 unders for 3 rounds. Back in 2019, the inaugural tournament, Jennifer Kupcho won that tournament at 10 under, and then second place was 6 under. Other than that, the 2 champions since then, Tsubasa Kashitani was 1 over when she won in a playoff, and then last year Anna Davis was 1 under. So to be 6 under really is remarkable, and then we'll have to see if she can continue that as we get to the Augusta National side of things, because as we know, that course is completely different and it presents different challenges than Champions Retreat. Who else have we not talked about yet that you guys have had your eye on? I know Andrea Lignell has been up there near the top of the leaderboard for the last couple of days. Who else are we looking at?
Yeah, so speaking of Lignell, I was following her around a lot yesterday, and she had 3 straight birdies on 9, 10, and 11, I believe, and she was cruising at one point, hence why she's still at 5 under and still rolling. She's even on the day to this point, but once again, similar to Zhang, if she continues to do her thing, which she has proven that she can do, she is definitely someone they're going to be keeping a very close eye on, especially in the final round.
Yeah, you mentioned her. I think the other one to mention, Nick, is Ingrid Lindblad. Something that we haven't really seen from her is that usual prowess that she brings to the course. I know last year when she was playing, the first day didn't go so well. It didn't go so well this round either. But she usually is a top 3 finisher here at the Augusta National Women's Amateur. So maybe we'll see some movement from her up the leaderboard. Hopefully, because I mean, this is the day. I mean, yeah, it's make or break for a lot of these girls, and you want to play at Augusta National, and we want to see Ingrid back there as well, because she does play the course at Augusta National so well. I mean, that's where she usually makes her big jump. So hopefully, we see some movement from her today.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, she usually plays well here in this tournament, and she played really well at Augusta National last year. Shot a 68 in the final round last year, and it nearly won her the tournament. She finished tied for second with her LSU teammate, Latana Stone, who also, I think, is having a pretty good tournament so far. She is tied for 9th right now at even par, 1 under on the day. So good to see her succeeding again. But yeah, Ingrid Lindblad, that was a big surprise to see her so far down the leaderboard right now because of that prowess that she brings. I mean, almost just seems robotic in the way last year it was fairway green birdie or fairway green par. I mean, it was just in such a rhythm. Right now, though, sitting at 5 over, 2 off the projected cut line. One other person I did want to talk about, Gianna Clement, Alyssa. I know you talked to her a little bit, the 15-year-old. She's sitting 1 below the cut line right now as well, 2 over on the day, kind of playing herself back a little bit. When you had talked to her, just kind of give us an insight into the mind of a 15-year-old playing on women's golf's biggest stage.
Yeah, I mean, can you believe it? She literally just turned 15 a week ago, and here she is. She said that she expected this to happen, wanted it to happen. So when she got that envelope, it was just kind of shredded out of the mail and say yes as soon as she could. So what I saw from her yesterday was not a great start from her. She was very slow, but I really do believe that was from the conditions on the course, from the wind and the mud, and it just being really slow yesterday. I think she'll pick it back up today because, Nick, it is dry out here. There's not much wind. We haven't really seen any trouble besides that little bit of wet patches. You know, Gianna Clement is so interesting to me because I remember being a 15-year-old and just being like, well, what do I do with the rest of my life? I don't really know. She's known since she was 7 years old that this is what she wanted to do. Her dad jumped in on it too and was like, okay, we're doing this. We're splitting our time between Florida and Warren, Ohio, and see where we go. Her dad is actually her caddy. One of the things that really stuck out to me when I was talking to her, and it goes back to your question, Nick, was that if she believes that she belongs somewhere, then you have to walk into this environment and believe that you belong here. So you have to play like it too. So she's been on some of the biggest stages here, you know, qualifying for 3 LPGA Tour events. One of those back in Cincinnati for the ladies LPGA Tour event at Kenwood Country Club. She played really, really well there. She was a Monday qualifier in all 3 of those events. So she, you know what, she walks into these like, you know what, these are girls maybe older than me, but I'm going to play, and I'm going to play to win. So hopefully we see some of that from her today.
Yeah, and it has to be a huge confidence boost to see somebody like Anna Davis come in last year. I think she was 16 when she won it last year. Tsubasa Kashitani was 17 when she won it 2 years ago. So just because you're competing against these 20, 22, 23-year-olds, however old the field may be, it doesn't mean that you're not meant to be there and meant to compete. As we're actually sitting here talking, Jensen Castle just doubled the 5th hole, so she is now back to even par, down to a tie for 9th on the tournament. So she's 2 over on the day, still sitting well above the cut line. But yeah, she was in a solo 5th place, has now dropped down to 9th. And one thing I find so interesting about this tournament, maybe you guys could speak on this a little bit, is experience seems to sometimes play a factor, but overall, it can be anybody that can go out and win this, because I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. Rose Zhang is a 4-timer. She's in 1st place. Amelia Migliaccio is a 4-timer. She's tied for 5th. But you've got Andrea Lignell. This is her 1st time out here. Jenny Bain, this is only her 2nd time out here. Antonia Malate, who's in 3rd place right now. This is her 2nd time out here. Fiona Zhu, this is her 1st time out here. So you see these young players with this just prowess to go out and attack this course and play well. Is that something you guys have noticed, that these first-timers are just going out and really just getting after it?
Oh, yeah. No doubt. And to your point, when you're in an event like this, you know, it can be intimidating, especially when you know there are returning champions in the field, when you know that the expectations are so high, there are going to be so many eyes on you all the time. The idea behind that, and that they're still excelling in this way, you know, I mean, I believe it was Castle mentioned yesterday a little bit about how, you know, the 18th green around this whole area is kind of crazy, especially around when the rounds start to wrap up. And because of that, you know, that itself can be a little intimidating to people who haven't been on this type of stage before or at an event specifically like this.
Yeah, I mean, even she said earlier this spring to me that Jensen Castle said to me, you know, you can play this course as much as you want, but the pin placement is the hardest that they've really truly had experience with here at Champions Retreat. I know I talked to a couple of people that are just members here, and it says this is a really, really tough course. So it's not like you can just walk in and win it, you know? You really have to come in with a mindset that you are playing to win and you are playing for Saturday. But, you know, we are seeing a lot of those first-timers that are coming out here and absolutely just annihilating this course. And maybe that is their benefit, is that, you know, you're not worried about the green too much, or you're not worried about playing this course that you have in the past. You are here, you are playing to win for that Saturday, playing to win for Saturday. And you know what? I think that's something that you can speak to a lot of the younger guys like Gianna Clement coming in here, maybe not doing so well in the first couple rounds there, and then, you know, finding her footing and making it way through the rest of the tournament. So that's something that we're going to see. No doubt.
And to your point, I mean, Clement as well. I mean, I shot her on 10 this morning early on when she just got going, and she had a shot from the edge of the green that just barely stopped, maybe a handful of inches away from the hole. And little things like that, you know, that can be heartbreaking to some people, especially someone who's 15 years old playing in an event like this, right? But she's still plowing through, you know, not exactly having the round that she wants right now, but she still has plenty of opportunities to continue to play her game and not completely fall out of everything that's going on here today.
Yeah, and as we're talking, another little leaderboard shift here. Fiona Zhu from New Zealand, another first-timer out here, has just birdied back-to-back holes. She's now sitting at 2 under. She birdied 3 and 4. So just everybody still trying to catch Rose Zhang. Oh, Andrea Lignell actually birdied a hole as well. She's now just 1 back. So it's Zhang at 7, Lignell at 6, and then Malate at 4. So it's going to be a pretty crowded leaderboard, going to make for an exciting finish in this round. Alyssa, I want to go back to something you said. They said it doesn't matter how many times you play this course, you never really know how it's going to look come tournament day. And one of the reasons for that is because of the patrons out there, the big galleries that we see. And you did a story on that yesterday. You've been out there last year. You can kind of compare last year to this year. What's it like seeing the number of patrons out there this year?
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, you see all age groups here, even like little babies up to like just, grandparents. They are out here and they are just like so excited to be here. Nick, when I was here last year, I think like there was maybe me and then like maybe 4 family members that were following these girls around. I'm talking dozens. Like they are like filing into the grass behind me, like just looking down on the green, and it is like a sight to see because it's building. I know last year I think Will Rio did a story and was like, the Augusta National Women's Amateur is so good for women's golf because it does put them on the map. And let me tell you, it's on the map because people are coming. They are flooding the gates here at Champions Retreat more so than I've ever seen. And then that's so positive for the sport. It's something you want to see. I know, we always say like on Saturday when you follow up 18 and, you see it, all the patrons and it's just like floods of patrons. But you're starting to see that here at Champions Retreat. And I think, if you build that following throughout the week and then you come Saturday, they're starting to recognize the names. They know like how well they're doing. They know when to kind of move off. And, it's kind of like that tiger following. You're like, when to move off and shift to the leader. And you're starting to see that following here and build. And like I said, like more people coming out here, so good for the sport, so positive to see.
Yeah, and it's always been about growing the game. That's something Augusta National has tried to do for years now, and this tournament was such a huge part of that. And in watching your story, seeing that 7-year-old girl, right, who looks up to these young women and she wants to be like them one day, that's really what this has always been about. And you mentioned it, the level of play in this tournament has just been incredible. Again, looking at the leaderboard here, we've got 8 players under par, and we compare that to 2 years ago when nobody finished under par. It just goes to show how strong this field is. Taking another look at the leaderboard here, we've got at this point 37 players at or above, like above the cut line, 3 over. Anna Davis is in there right now. Some ones right below that I wanted to mention. Hang on, I lost her. Where'd she go? Hang on, Clement moved one way or the other. I'm not sure which way. She actually moved up. So Gianna Clement is now up above the cut line. She is at 3 over par right now. Birdied 18, so she started on 10. So she'll now play the front 9. But as of right now, the 15-year-old is above the cut line, as is Hannah Darling, the sophomore from South Carolina. Although Anna Morgan, the Spartanburg native, right now is 1 below the cut line. So there's still so much good golf left to be played here today before we make our cuts. And one thing I think is really cool, and this kind of goes back to growing the game, is this year they've decided to add the top 30 and ties move on to Saturday to play at Augusta National in the final round. And that's something that's changed this year. Alyssa, I'm sure you remember last year we had, a 6-person playoff there for 1 spot at Champions Retreat, and they had to do it on Friday morning because we got rained out on Thursday, and then they had to go play their practice round at Augusta National later that day. So this way, more women get the opportunity.
I think you got in, you raced it, and you were setting up.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was kind of crazy. It was like you weren't expecting it to happen because of the rain, and it really kind of shoved everything back. Nick, you ran in here, like I think the playoff just finished right before we were about to go on air. It is very exciting because you want to see like these extra girls that have like made it to that cut line go and compete and just be given that shot. And you know what? I don't know if they were expecting this, but because of the wind and the rain, like there's so many people tied beneath the cut line. So, we want to see them move on and, not lose their chance because of the weather conditions that have been presented here. But yeah, last year was just, you couldn't even picked it out of a hat. It was so crazy.
Yeah, it was something special, and it made for great excitement for us, and I'm sure for the girls as well. But also had to be a little heartbreaking for those who just missed out in the 37th, 38th hole to get their shot at playing Augusta National. So, guys, as you go on through the rest of the day now, what can we expect from you coming up later this evening?
Yeah, so actually today, we are talking caddies. It's so fun here at Augusta, like the Augusta National Women's Amateur, because they can handpick their caddy or choose one from here or surrounding clubs. I know I got a chip from a caddy from Pinehurst, so We know he's here, but I did talk to a couple family members, hopefully also to talk to Mr. Clement, who I actually met at Sage Valley. He is caddying for Gianna. But I talked to a couple brothers that are picking up the bags for their sisters. So it'll be a little exciting story, just give you a little bit more of a touch on who these guys are. And, you know, I did ask him, like, is there any siblings fights? And he goes, you know, I forget who said it, but he was like, you know what, there is a couple shots where I'm like, I could have shot that better than you. And it's like, you are playing on the biggest stage, and that's the comment you are making to your sister. Like, it is crazy. I can't wait to share that story, though, coming up later on this evening.
And if I remember correctly, did Anna Davis's brother carry the bag for her at one point last year, or did I make that up?
You know, I'm not really sure. I think that was probably the case. You know, I was planning on catching up with her later on this evening as well. So I'm gonna double ask her and see who she's got on the bags tonight. But yeah, there was one brother that I had just spoken with quickly, and he said, yeah, my sister had her fitness instructor carry the bags for her the last 3 years at, you know, various tournaments. So when she sent me a text, I almost cried. I was like, you know, I would probably be in the same situation if my sibling asked me to carry it on the biggest stage.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's so much fun, and you know, it's so fun for the caddies because it's a little bit lower pressure. Of course, still the pressure of carrying the bag and giving advice on what club to hit and the yardage and all that, but a little bit less pressure than the golfers are facing. Okay, guys, we will let you get back to it. Although actually, Rose Zhang just birdied the third hole, so she is back up to a 2-shot lead on the field. She's just rolling right now. Again, world number one, has been here before, tied for third, tied for 12th, tied for 17th in her first 3 appearances here. So made the cut all 4 years and has played Augusta National and meaningful golf on Saturday each of the last 3 tournaments, and looking like she's well on her way to doing it again. So, guys, we appreciate the live update there from Champions Retreat, and we look forward to hearing more from you throughout the day. I'm sure we'll hear from you again in about 35 minutes on our midday newscast, so we'll go ahead and let you get back to that, and we will check in with you coming up a little bit later.
Sounds good. See you later, Nick.
Yes, sir. Awesome. I'll talk to you later.
All righty, Alyssa Lyons, Dan Booth out there at Champions Retreat for us. We do appreciate the update from them. Now let's take a little bit more in-depth look at the leaderboard here. So as I mentioned, Rose Zhang did just birdie the third hole, moving her to 2 under through 3 holes on the day and 8 under for the tournament. Andrea Lignell not far behind at 6 under. She has birdied 1 hole today, so she is 2 shots back now. Jenny Bay is out on the course now. She was one of the later tee times to start up today. Parred the first hole, so she stays at 3 under par. Fiona Zhu, a first-timer out here from New Zealand, she birdied back-to-back holes 3 and 4, probably almost done the 5th hole here pretty soon, so we'll wait for that score to come in, but she is not far behind at 2 under. But again, this tournament is such a great mix of newcomers and experience. You know, we've got first-timers, we've got second-timers, third-timers, and then a few fourth-timers who have been here for every tournament, and they are very successful here to start. Rose Zhang in first, Amelia Migliaccio at tied for 6th. But yeah, it's great to see them back every year and competing and again, growing the game like we've been talking about. A couple more people to point out. Latana Stone, she finished tied for 2nd last year. Again, had a shot to win it in the last couple holes, wasn't able to finish it out. She finished tied for 2nd with her LSU teammate, Ingrid Lindblad, who we'll get to in a little bit. One person who I do not see right now, she's right here now, Jensen Castle, 5 and 6. We're not too kind to her today at Champions Retreat. Played those 3 over. So she is now 1 over for the tournament. Still within, well within the cut line. She's a couple strokes up, but she will just need to continue to play well to stay above that cut line. Hannah Darling, the sophomore from USC, playing even par golf today after kind of a rough front 9, kind of an up and down front 9, I should say, and then a couple bogeys on the back. But other than that, a lot of pars for her on the back 9 yesterday. She is also in there, tied for 22nd. Let's take a little bit more of a look down here. So as it stands, this is such a moving leaderboard, such a live leaderboard right now. 31 players are sitting at +2 or better. So just a few minutes ago, the cut line was +3. That has now moved to +2, meaning Gianna Clement, who we've been talking about a lot here, is now below the cut line, as is last year's champion Anna Davis sitting below the cut line. They're both at +3, but Clement has the hole. She's playing the whole front 9 second, so she's got 9 holes left. Davis has plenty of time left to get back above the cut line. Anna Davis, since her little mishap, she found out she was going to get penalized on the 4th hole yesterday. So she got the multi-stroke penalty on hole 1, found out about that on hole 4, doubled hole 4, bogeyed hole 5. Since then, she has played 5 under golf for the next, 13, 18, 13, or the next 18 holes, she's played 5 under golf. So if you were to get rid of these 4 holes, she's right on championship pace, right back to where she was last year. So if she can make it above the cut line, which I would expect her to, she should be just fine tomorrow or Saturday trying to make a run at this thing. Scrolling down a little bit farther here, here's Ingrid Lindblad. This is just such a surprising scorecard to see right here. She's been so dominant in this tournament the last couple years, finishing tied for 3rd and tied for 2nd over the last 2 years. Just really struggled yesterday. Had a tough time keeping the scorecard clean. But she shot a 68 last year in the final round. She's always a threat if she can make it to Augusta National, but she's got a little bit of work to do, currently sitting 3 back of the cut line, as is Spartanburg native Anna Morgan, who was 4 over for the tournament, but just bogeyed the 12th hole, so she is back down to 5 over, and again, has a little bit of work to do. There are maybe 2 more I wanted to point out. Savannah DeBach, she is from Belgium, committed to the University of Georgia. Had a rough go yesterday, finished 6 over, first timer out here, but she's got a lot of work to do if she wants to come back. And then this is the really surprising one here. Tsubasa Kashitani won this tournament back in 2021 in a playoff. It was incredible. She and Amelia Migliaccio put on a show over at Augusta National on Saturday. Didn't play in this tournament last year, and now is struggling to find her footing here in 2023. As we take a look at her first round scorecard, had some big numbers up there. 2 doubles and a triple, along with 5 bogeys. So she finished 12 over yesterday, and now she's 2 over through 5 holes today. You know, never want to say anybody's out of it, but with 12 strokes to the cut line, she has certainly got a lot of work to do. But okay, let's go ahead and catch you up on the action you may have missed yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and play Dan's sportscast from last night talking about all of the round 1 action. Then we'll go ahead and play Alyssa's story talking about the patrons who are out there. And it's really cool to hear some of these patron stories about why they're out there and how much this tournament means to them. So let's go ahead and play those.
Even though it was a beautiful day for the first round of the Augusta National Women's Amateur over at Champions Retreat, the course conditions were on the minds of these talented golfers for most of the day. Between the steady breeze and all of the recent rain, a lift, clean, and place rule was in effect, which had a major impact on the defending champion, Anna Davis. On the first tee, Davis drove the ball into the wind and wound up in the rough on the right side, just under the rope that borders the course. Davis initially thought she had bogeyed on the course, but after the round, Davis was given 2 separate 2-stroke penalties for failing to replace the ball on its original spot. Here's what the reigning champion had to say after the round.
Preferred lies were only in the fairway today, and I learned that after the first hole. On my first drive, I was in the rough, you know, did my whole thing, there's one on it. Did my second shot in the rough, same thing. So that was a 4-shot penalty right there.
This penalty means that instead of finishing the first round even, Davis's score dropped to 4 over, making it a much more difficult climb to repeat as champion. When it comes to the rest of the field, a couple of Georgia Bulldogs were in the same group. Jenny Bay set the pace for everyone early on. This long-range putt on 18 stops just short of the hole, but she taps it in to save par. Jenny Bay is going into the second round in 3rd place, sitting at 3 under. Belgium's Savannah DeBach, who will be attending the University of Georgia next year, didn't have the greatest day, but she did have this really nice birdie on 18. Andrea Lignell, who had 5 birdies on the day, including 3 in a row on 9, 10, and 11. Lignell was either the leader or shared the lead for a good chunk of the day. After a strong drive to start on the par 4 13, she found herself on the green, and her putt just doesn't come back enough on that one. Lignell could have used that birdie because she finished the day 1 stroke behind world number 1 Rose Zhang, who tops the leaderboard heading into the second round at 6 under.
At the start of the round, I really just wanted to kind of make pars because that champion's a treat. You never know what you're going to get, and with the ground being so soft and being muddy, I can't really expect anything more out of my game.
To be honest, I did definitely not see a 6-7 play yesterday. I mean, this is my first time, so I heard they played it really tough like last year. So I kind of expected to score maybe around par or so this is just, it's so much fun. It was unbelievable.
In addition to Rose Zhang being on top after round 1, her bogey-free 6 under 66 is a new 18-hole championship record. Once round 2 comes to a close on Thursday, those who make the cut will play in the final round at Augusta National Golf Club on Saturday.
I'm here to watch the ladies golf tournament.
The sound, the look, the finish is back.
It's really hard. There's a lot of bunkers out there. The fact that this is in our backyard is really pretty cool. See all these people out here supporting the women.
What you may find just out your back door is unlike any other playground.
To have young golfers like my daughter that can come out here and see this event year in and year out, I mean, what more could you ask for in your backyard?
No single day the same.
I wouldn't want to be playing in this. I've actually played this course, and it's really hard without the wind.
Good drive.
While the caddies carry a club bag, patrons carry one of a different kind.
I got the Augusta women's hat, and then, of course, had to have the Tarvis.
A souvenir for her, a dream for another.
It's just so excited to be here watching ladies. Like, I could be one of them one day.
In Evans, Alyssa Lyons on your side.
What do you say?
And again, that's kind of what it's all about, growing the game here. When you see a 7-year-old so excited to be out here and see these young women who are doing such great things in their careers and thinking she wants to be like them, that's what the tournament means to so many people. Let's go ahead and take a little trip down memory lane here, shall we? So we've got, well, before we do that, we've got Rose Zhang doing something that we haven't seen done like this before. She is dominant in the first 2 rounds of this tournament. That's not to say that there aren't other people playing great right now. Andrea Lignell, 6 under through 4 holes today. Well, 6 under for the tournament, 1 under through 4 holes today. But Rose Zhang, 8 under for the tournament, 2 under through just 3 holes today. She played a bogey-free round yesterday. She's gone bogey-free early in this round today. Lignell has as well, actually. So the 2 of them really have just been phenomenal. And I'm taking a look here at some past champions. Jennifer Kupcho has the record in this tournament, the very first tournament back in 2019. She shot 10 under par through 3 rounds. Second place, Maria Fassi, was at 6 under, and then third place was 2 under. So the record for is 10 under, like I said, and then let me skip ahead here to 2021. Nobody finished under par. Tsubasa Kashitani was at +1 along with Amelia Migliaccio, and they went into a playoff at 1 over par. And then last year, Anna Davis was the only player to finish under par. She was 1 under. Ingrid Lindblad and Latana Stone finished even par. So in the history of this championship, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players finish under par. This year, right now, we are at 7 with a lot of golf left to go. Now, that can go either way. Of course, we know Augusta National is as challenging of a golf course as there is. So let's take a look at how well some of these players have done at Augusta National over the last couple years. Rose Zhang, she's a 4-timer out here. So back in 2019, let me pull this up so you can look along with me here. Back in 2019, she finished in a tie for 17th and shot a 75, 3 over 75 at Augusta National on the final day. Then in 2021, she finished, let's see, where is she? Tied for 3rd and finished 75 at Augusta National on the final day. And last year, she finished 12th, I believe, tied for 12th. Yeah, and shot a 74. So traditionally, doesn't have her best round at Augusta National, so we'll have to see if that impacts her at all. Andrea Lignell is the first timer out here. Antonia Malate, she was out here once back in 2022, finished tied for 25th, shot a 78 at Augusta National. So it really, it matters what you shoot here in the first couple rounds, but chips are on the table in round 3 on Saturday at Augusta National, as we know, and as we've seen in the past. Anything can happen in that last round. 75s, 78s, not uncommon to see out there. I mean, let's even take a look at last year's champion, Anna Davis. She actually shot a 3 under 69 in the last round. And some players have played well out there before. Ingrid Lindblad shot a 68. That was the low final round last year. Let's actually see if anybody's ever beaten that before. 2021, anybody shoot better than 68? Maya Stark, 69. Nope, nobody shot better than 68 there. 2019, Jennifer Kupcho, 67. That is the lowest round that we've seen at the National. But actually, Rose Zhang's first round, 66, was the lowest round that we've seen in this tournament in 4 years. And as we sit here and talk about great players, Andrea Lignell just birdied the 5th hole. So she's now 2 under for the day, 1 off of Rose Zhang. This is going to be an incredible finish, not only here today, but also on Saturday. We've got just a ton of great players in there. Let's check out the cut line. Still in there at +2. We've had somebody else jump in, not exactly sure who it is. But we now have 32 players in there. We had 31 not too long ago. Defending champ Anna Davis still on the outside looking in. Gianna Clement still on the outside looking in. Ingrid Lindblad, that's probably the biggest shocker for me to see her down there and 3 shots off the projected cut line right now, as well as Tsubasa Kashitani, just because, you know, she's been a champion in this tournament before. But we're going to have more live coverage from Dan and Alyssa throughout the day over from Champions Retreat, and yeah, we'll see how this tournament plays out. Can't wait to get out there and see it for myself. Be heading out a little bit later this morning once we get done here. Heading out there, just keeping little tabs on the scoreboard, leaderboard right now. Nothing else really sticking out to me. What about Amari Avery? She's been here a couple times. Amari Avery missed the cut in 2021, tied for 4th last year. She's now sitting at 1 under for the day, 2 over for the tournament, and a tie for 19th. So she's been out of this course before, knows what it takes to play well. She shot even par 72 last year at Augusta National. So probably going to need a better score than that to contend with Zhang and Lignell and Antonia Malate, who is 2 under for the day after going 2 under yesterday as well. So just there goes Rose Zhang again. This is incredible. Let me pull up the leaderboard again. Look at this. Look at this scorecard. Rose Zhang, 3 under through 4 holes. This is why she's the #1 player in the world. I mean, look at this. Let's go back to round 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birdies, no bogeys. Clean scorecard there. 4 under through 3, or 3 under through 4 holes in round 2. And she's getting to holes that we've seen people struggle with. Holes 5 and 6 have been tough for players over these 2 days. So we'll have to see how she handles that. But if it's anything like yesterday, she'll handle them just fine. So we'll have to see. We will, of course, keep an eye on that. Let's actually take a look at something here. Let me, real quick. Take a look at the. Come on. Okay, here we go. The women's amateur golf ranking. So if we take a look here, obviously we know Rose Zhang is world #1. Ingrid Lindblad, #2. She's in this tournament. Baba Saki in there at #3. I believe she's playing as well. Yep, she's in there. Let's see where she is coming in. She's right here in tie for 14th. She also eagled the third hole, much like our third place woman at the moment, Antonia Malate. Let's see. Rachel Kuhn, is she in here? She is. I'm sure we could go down this list all day, but I won't bore you with that. Oh, we're now up to 33 players in the top above the cut line, which just means that cut line may not move below 2 over the rest of the day. If anything, it could move to 1 if we get enough players up there. Right now, 18 players at +1, so there would need to be a lot of birdies out there on the course, but it is possible. Pretty favorable course conditions today, as we're seeing the scores for this morning very low. A lot of under par scores this morning. A lot of even pars, and then good bit of over pars too, but still a lot more under par scores than we're used to seeing out on Champions Retreat. Yesterday we had, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 under par scores. And today it's looking like we've already got a lot more than that with a lot of golf left to play. So, of course, we know that could go either way. But hopefully it means we're going to get a lot more low scores because those are a lot more fun. And we like seeing records get broken. So that would be cool. Okay. I think I've talked enough for today. I think you've heard enough for today. So we will go ahead and wrap this up now. But we do appreciate you tuning in. As always, please download our News 12 streaming app. You can do that on your favorite streaming device, whether that's your Roku, your Apple TV, your Fire Stick, whatever streaming device you use. You just search WRDW on there, and you can download that for free. Get all of our latest content, live newscasts, I-Team investigations, first alert forecast. That's all going to be on that app for you. Excuse me. Also, give our YouTube channel a subscribe. We put all of our clips up there, all of our stories, all of our forecasts, and these News 12 Now segments, Aerial Augusta, everything's going to be up there too. So if you don't have time to watch a full 30-minute newscast, you can get a little condensed version there on the YouTube channel with those clips. We've got our midday newscast coming up. Hallie Turner going to be anchoring that one alongside Tim, doing weather, of course. And that's going to do it for me today. I'm not sure when I will be back on here again. I'm off tomorrow, and then we'll have to see next week with Masters coverage because, of course, the next time I'll be on here, practice rounds will be underway. So we'll see what coverage looks like next week, but, of course, we will let you guys know. Okay, appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you on the TV side of things in a little bit. Have a good one.